Today, we have the pleasure to sit down with Steve Wang of SuperDraft. He talks a little bit about his entrepreneurship journey, where he's been, and where he's going with this awesome fantasy sports product in SuperDraft. Don't miss this one.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Everywhere you turn, it's the same old sports talk, the same headlines, the same news, and the same boring information. This podcast is here to change all of that. We bring you hot sports takes, winning sports betting strategy and picks, reliable gaming industry news, and breaking interviews with some of the biggest names in sports business. My name is Ryan Newpel, and welcome to the Noop Sports Show. All right, welcome back to another episode of the Noop Sports Show. I'm your host, Ryan Newpel, here with you each and every time. Thank you for giving us a little bit of time out of your day to learn a little bit about daily fantasy sports, iGaming, whatever the topic of the day is. Today, I'm joined by an awesome guest. I have Steve Wang with SuperDraft. He's with me today. Steve, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, I'm excited for this interview. I'm excited to learn a little bit about what SuperDraft is up to and, man, just understand a little bit about what's going on in your world. So first of all, how you doing? How you hanging in there through this this COVID pandemic that seemingly won't go away?
Oh, I'm doing good. I've recovered. I caught COVID back in May and survived it. So recover pretty well. Still feel a little tired on and off here and there, but ready to go to get some vaccine and look forward to a great recovery into next year.
That's for sure. I think everybody's itching to see what 2021 has for us. We're just going to call 2020 the year to forget, and we'll move forward into 2021. But
Yes.
that aside, Steve, give me a little bit of background before we get into SuperDraft and into what you're currently doing. Give me a little background on yourself and kind of where you've been to get to where you are today.
Well, I've had an amazing journey. I've been started writing software when I was 18. Went through the high-tech industry, started my current company called Contour Design back in 1995, and we built some amazing products in the field of computer ergonomics. So I've been inventing, building products for the better part of the last 25 years. So a lot of exciting products we created through this time frame. We created first iPod cases and iPhone cases. But right now, our flagship product with over 1 million units sold is in the field of computer ergonomics. Wow. So I'm foremost a technologist, very fluent in software development. And here I am.
Here you are. Exactly. You're with SuperDraft now. So what brought you into this, this fantasy space? What brought you into this industry? Obviously you have a wide variety of background and lots of different areas. What brought you to this space?
Well, I've played season-long fantasy for over 20 years. I'm also dabble in the sports betting world. Well, more than probably dabbled, but I frequent casinos and play blackjack and baccarat. So I love gambling. I love technology. I love building new product. I like thinking about solving problems and create the next best thing. So that's kind of how I got involved. And about 3 years ago, I invested in a company called Fans Call, which built a software app to predict outcome of every at-bat in a baseball game. The company had really poor tech, but good idea, but poor technology. So that company eventually failed. I acquired the company through an auction and started building software to kind of create a game mode, and I realized, wow, this is fun. So that product probably is way ahead of its time. So I decided to get into the tech team that we built was very, very competent. So I said, let's take a shot at building a daily fantasy platform. And so that's kind of how I got into it.
That's amazing. You know, the fact that you're kind of combining all your loves and all your skills and passions into one area is really neat. That's cool. A cool backstory to get you here.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about SuperDraft. You know, give us the 1,000-foot view of what SuperDraft is, and you know, tell everyone listening, you know, just a little bit about it.
So I realized early on that as a season-long player, I was kind of afraid of daily fantasy, and I found it kind of complicated, and it's kind of like a one and done. You don't pick the right team, you're done. Versus season long, you can keep on adjusting your lineups. You know, so I thought that, how do I build a product that can that's friendlier, that's easier to play, that's not as intimidating as the current fantasy sports. So so the first thing I decided to do is get rid of the salary cap and see if there's a way where the player can draft any player they want. So we came up with this method of multiplier, which assigns a handicap or a multiplier to every individual athlete, and try to equalize the value of every player. So the expected outcome is all the same. So by doing that, you can basically build a team with any players you want. You could create 8 players of all tier 1, the LeBrons and you know, or you can mix and match. So the idea here is to create a simpler, easier game. And I think we've done that.
Yeah, that's really cool. You know, I kind of joined in your sentiments that when daily fantasy came out, it just seemed, yeah, it was, I don't know what the word is, overwhelming, just different, right, than what everybody had been used to with season long. And then, yeah, the one and done analogy is a perfect analogy, because that is truly how you feel when you're playing these giant contests with FanDuel or DraftKings. You're either it's like all or nothing. You're either going to win big or, yeah, okay, fine, I maybe minimum cashed or didn't win anything. But there's a very fine line there between, like, it's tough to enjoy it when you're not, I guess, winning big, right? It's just a weird feeling. So tell me a little bit more about what, I guess, where you're at now with SuperDraft. So is everything launched? Are you guys live? Is this a in the market product for you guys?
Yes, we've launched it last year, and as you know, any product, you need to market it, you need to acquire users, you need to build some sort of critical mass so that you can offer prize pools that are significant. Sure. And it's kind of like, as soon as we make the contest too big, we end up overlaying. So we struggled through that for about a year, and we finally got to a point now where we have probably 80,000 registered users,
wow.
About 15,000 active paid players. We're operating now in 37 states, and we've probably paid out over $10 million in handle. So we're there. We have a pretty loyal following base. We have a lot of players that just love our technology, our user interface, our multiplier game mode. The overwhelming comments, much easier to build a lineup. It's and the multiplier itself, you could have a player that has a 2x multiplier. And when that player scores a touchdown at the end of the game, you could jump hundreds of positions. So the sweat factor is phenomenal. And so we're kind of at a point now, we've proven our technology works. We've proven that it's scalable. Now we just got to add more gasoline to the engine. So we're kind of at a point now where we have quite a few investors interested in us to help us scale up to the next level. So it's kind of a very exciting time for us. We're starting to acquire a lot of industry experts in marketing and user acquisition, and we're ready to go. We're ready to go to see if we can get to the next level.
Well, congratulations on the success there, up to date, and that's amazing that you guys are that far down this path. It's not an easy venture to take in this space, especially with some of the big companies, already with their foot in the ground there. You're trying to catch up with them. So, congrats on that. Are you in every sport? What kind of sports do you guys offer as far as competitions around?
We probably have just about everything the industry leaders have. We have football, golf, MMA, NASCAR, hockey, baseball. What else did I miss? And NBA. It's about to start.
Sure is.
We cross all the platforms. We have a very exciting single game mode on Monday nights and Thursday nights and Sunday nights. Mm-hmm. Our single game mode is gaining a lot of traction. We've gone from offering $20,000 contests in our main event to today is Tuesday, and Thursday we're going out with a $40,000 GPP. So it's growing. Our single game mode is gaining a lot of traction. So I think we have everything from a technology standpoint, and the only thing we're missing is a bigger prize pool, and that will come as the fans come back. And our user base are very sticky. Mm-hmm. We find that we're gaining a lot of players winning on our site that they don't win on other sites because the competition there is really fierce. You're dealing with a lot of sharks, a lot of highly skilled players. And I see us as kind of a safe harbor for your casual DFS players. The contest sizes are smaller, but the competition is much friendlier.
And I think that's one of the common problems with the industry is the new casual gamer doesn't really have that idea that that's what's happening. They don't even understand that the majority of some of these people winning the big contests on the big sites are truly sharks. I mean, there's guys that that's their full-time job is to win on FanDuel and win on DraftKings. And so when you say it's a little friendlier competition, I mean, that's certainly should appeal to the newcomer, somebody that just wants to enjoy it, have fun with that upside of possibly winning a decent size reward, but not feel like they're constantly getting beat by the same people every time.
We have players that have won our, 25,000 for first place that never won that on the FanDuel and DraftKings. So they're telling us, "Wow, I can win here."
Yeah.
And the sharks don't come on our site because there's not enough juice. Mm-hmm. For them.
That's
so
totally.
They don't invest the time.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yes. So come get it while we're still good.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like you guys are offering some sort of a first deposit bonus and all of that as well. Correct? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I see that out on your site and everything, right?
Yes. We have pretty much same level of deposit bonuses as our competitors.
Cool.
But it's the user interface, the experience is phenomenal. So we focus on that. We're very, very, very focused on giving the user the best experience. Make sure the payout happens immediately. Mm. So it's been a journey. It hasn't been easy, but I think our perseverance, I think our investment in technology first is starting to pay dividends.
I mean, I was going to touch on that just for a second because your entrepreneurial journey really intrigues me, and you seem like a super laid back kind of guy, that kind of can handle anything.
Yes.
What types of challenges, you said it's been a journey, you said it's been a challenge, and we all know that business is always a constant challenge. What are some of the, I guess, biggest business challenges you guys have come up against that you're willing to share here in the last few minutes?
Well, finding the real solid tech people, it was a challenge,
Hmm.
and to build a tech team, this is not easy stuff.
Hmm.
There's the technology behind what we got is not easy, um, and to build it out with 5 to 10 engineers when our competitors have hundreds of engineers, it's not easy. So acquiring talent is very difficult. We make sure our key technologists have a good stake in the company. So that was foremost. And then the next step is as the I call myself the CEO slash investor. That's a very difficult role to play. I've funded this company to the tune of close to $10 million now
Wow.
in pocket. And so some days I put my CEO hat on and and then I put my investor hat on. I keep on fighting myself. Should I or shouldn't I? Should I? Yes, everything will be great. Don't worry. Give us more money. And then you put the other hat on. You go, wow, we're still not at break even.
Yeah. 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 I can imagine that's a tough balance, right? With both those roles together, I can see you fighting with yourself internally.
Yeah, some days you just feel like, oh, why am I doing this?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a common business feeling, I think, as well, though, that you got to fight through, and part of the journey, I guess, like you mentioned earlier, the journey of this has been long, and you guys are well on your way, which is amazing. Amazing.
Yeah,
So
failure
congrats.
is not an option.
I love it. I love that quote. That's a good one. I'm glad you said that because you're right. It's not an option in some of this stuff. So,
Right, right.
well, cool, Steve. Well, what else? Any last words here? I don't want to keep you too long. I know you're a super busy guy and, trying to get this thing rocking and rolling, but any last words, or for anyone listening that first, there's probably a few different crowds listening, right? There's probably some that just want to play on Super Draft and want to be a part of this awesome platform just as a user. But then there's probably people listening as well that have more of a business mind, and they're probably thinking, man, I connect with what Steve is saying here from a business side, or possibly investor type people or anything like that. Anything you want to say to both of those crowds before you get off here?
Yeah, I get, come check it out. I think you'll be very happy with the product. Um, I think even though we're kind of not very well known right now, but I'm willing to wager that within the next year we're going to be probably the best up and coming DFS company in this space. I think our technology will start to really shine, and I think our prize pool will grow. And I think outside the big two, I think we're position ourselves to be a big player, and grab that number 3 spot in this space. So it's an exciting journey. I think here we come. Let's go.
Here we come. And if anybody wanted to get a hold of yourself or somebody at SuperDraft, how would they do that?
Our website is superdraft.io.
Okay.
There's plenty of ways to send a message.
Cool.
To me, and I'll be more than happy to respond as fast as I can.
Awesome. Hey, one last question. You mentioned, you have a sports betting background, you love gambling, things like that. Any future for integrating betting or that side of things into Super Draft, or is that a whole nother discussion for another time?
It put me on the show again. I'll tell you about our free roll app. We've spent the last 9 months building out a free-to-play sports betting app. It is awesome, and we can't wait to roll that out first part of next year. We're going to be giving out lots of very exciting prizes. and they would be fully integrated, and you could win super cash.
Oh, I love it.
If you win super cash, you could come on to SuperDraft and play DFS.
Sure. I love it. That's awesome. Well, I'm going to put that on my calendar for early 2021 to reach back out and have you on, and you can talk a little bit more about the developments of this free-to-play app. That'll be amazing.
Yes.
Awesome, Steve. Well, I will let you go. I appreciate you giving us a little bit of time here and telling us about SuperDraft. I urge everyone listening, get out there, download the app, check it out. It looks awesome. Fun to play games. And dare I say, easy to win. I mean, you can't say easy to win because none of this is easy to win, but maybe easier to win than some of the competitors.
It's easier to win. And in some of our main contests, we've had 40% of our uniques cash.
Cool. That's awesome.
That is very good numbers.
That is awesome, Steve. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you again for being here.
Yes. Thank you very much for having me.
No worries. All right. That was Steve Wang of SuperDraft. Everybody go check it out. Thank you guys all so much for listening, tuning into the show. Until next time, stay safe and have a great day. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Noob Sports Show. If you enjoyed this podcast, please consider subscribing to our iTunes channel today. Plus, visit us at noobsports.com for more picks, previews, strategy, and news. That's KNUPsports.com.